Welcome back to the program. Joining me now is Phillip Powell. He's with the Arkansas Times and Report for America. Good to have you with us.
Well, thank you for having me.
You've been doing a lot of reporting on lithium in Arkansas. Do you have lithium on the brain now? Or
lithium too much on the brain. It's been a wonderful experience getting to talk to folks in the lithium industry and to talk to some of these mineral rights owners and landowners down there and just learn about this because it's amazing, right?
Yeah.
It's amazing what's going on.
Yeah, it's got the potential to be a huge boom for the Arkansas economy, and it's mainly South Arkansas. So let's talk a little bit kind of about, first of all, for people that don't know, what is lithium used in? I mean, it is a big component of a lot of stuff in everybody's everyday life and what's going to be their everyday life.
Right. The big thing is actually electric car batteries. That's the big thing, that the reason why there's such a lithium rush, not just in South Arkansas, but across America. You know, the Biden administration passed laws that created a lot of funding opportunities for companies such as Standard Lithium and Exxon to start developing lithium batteries and start bringing the supply chain for lithium here to America so that we can actually encourage people to buy electric cars more.
Right. But because we're dependent upon China as one of the main exporters of lithium right now, and there's obviously a pretty big concerns politically about having too much economic tie to China, which is why this domestic rush is happening.
Exactly. And interestingly enough, as much as this is a national and even international story, Arkansas is at the heart of it. Right down in South Arkansas, across Union County, Lafayette County, little towns like Louisville, Stamps. They're at the heart of the lithium rush, an international lithium rush. And the reason why is there's this formation called the Smackover Formation. Mm-hmm. So what these companies want to do is they want to come into the Smackover Formation. Some of them have been there for now 4, 5, 6 years. There's 5 major companies. You got Standard Lithium, ExxonMobil, huge energy player, Albemarle Corporation, Tetra Technologies, and Lanxess. All 5 of these companies want to start getting these lithium projects off the ground. What they'll do is they'll build wells. In some cases, the wells are already built. They'll pump this lithium-rich brine out of the ground, and then they will extract the lithium from the brine and then pump the brine back into the ground. That's kind of the plan.
Yeah.
Now, this is a relatively untested plan, but this is what they hope they can do. And you know what? The U.S. Geological Service did a study showing that just in the Smackover Formation, just Arkansas could meet global demand for lithium, right? Just by itself in 2030, I believe. So the study said.
That's amazing.
So it's a huge opportunity.
Yeah, I do caution people because we have been through in Arkansas back in the probably 2010 era back there, maybe even a little bit before then, early or late 2000s. Arkansas went through a big gas, boom in Arkansas, the Fayetteville shale play, and it played out in a shorter period of time, but it was a bunch of mineral rights and royalty debate and made a lot of people millionaires overnight, quite frankly. But it came and it went, sort of thing. This lithium boom to me seems to be much slower in the making, and it seems to me that it is going to be a long-term kind of economic development project, not an overnight kind of success.
No, not at all. And I mean, I think that's what you see from our state officials as well, is they are looking at this as a long-term industry to put right here in South Arkansas. Unfortunately, a lot of the communities in South Arkansas, there's not a lot of economic opportunity down there. There's a lot of poverty in some of these places. And so, trying to navigate how this can be a long-term mainstay in Arkansas industry is what our state officials are doing. It's what these companies want to do. Let me just give you an example of that, right? Mm-hmm. So Standard Lithium, they've been here since 2018 working on these projects. They received a conditional grant from the United States Department of Energy of $225 million to build out their facility in Louisville, Arkansas.
Yeah.
Right? And part of that agreement is that they have to do quite a few community benefits, and actually doing real investments in Louisville and some of these other small places in Arkansas. So this is the type of, opportunity we have. But as I'm sure we'll get into, there's also quite a few barriers.
Yeah. We definitely will do that. And the other thing, too, that I hear from a lot of officials down in that area of the state, too, is when workers start coming, when it starts ramping up more, assuming that they get the regulatory stuff in order, Housing will be a problem. Amenities for what you do when you're not working will be, of concern to those communities that you're talking about.
Oh, absolutely, yes. I mean, I think long-term education and making sure that a lot of these jobs can be taken by Arkansas workers is definitely a long-term challenge, and it's something that these companies are thinking about, and I know that our state officials are thinking about too.
Let's talk about the big royalty debate that's going on. There's going to be a hearing on Monday, November 4th.
That's right.
At the Oil and Gas Commission, which is the regulatory agency that's going to set the royalty fees for this this brine extraction and what they're going to charge. Kind of frame up the debate that is going on over there. It's complicated, it's not simple, but explain how the royalties work and what's being kind of determined right now.
Absolutely. I mean, you're right, it is a complicated issue, but I'll break it down. So on Monday, I'm going to go down to El Dorado, which is at the center of this lithium rush, just like with Louisville and Stamps and these other little places. They're going to have a hearing. People are going to fly in, and essentially what's happening is 5 of those companies that I mentioned before, Standard Lithium, Albemarle, Tetra, Lanxess, ExxonMobil, which operates in Arkansas as Saltworks, they have said to all of the mineral rights owners who've leased their mineral rights to them, they want to establish a 1.82% royalty payout for these mineral rights owners. Yeah. And they've done it together. It's a joint application, all right? And the mineral rights owners said, we think that's too low. And so they've objected in mass, and they want to see—
They've proposed a number.
They have.
Yeah, it's a lot bigger than $1.82.
A lot bigger. And their rationale is they believe the companies are kind of trying to short them a bit. You know, they think the companies are going to make a killing in this lithium rush, and they want to make sure that, and I'll just give you a few names of, who's kind of leading up these mineral rights owners' opposition to this royalty application. These are old Arkansas names, like Murphy Oil Company, right? Kind of big money, big old money here in Arkansas. And they think that they are owed a little bit higher of a royalty. So we'll see, because Monday, the Oil and Gas Commission, whether they want to or not, they're going to have to decide on this application and decide if the 1.82% royalty, and just to give everyone context about this is 500,000 acres of leased land would all get the 1.82% royalty. All of these mineral rights owners, whether you're a big or small landowner, big or small mineral rights owner, you're all going to have the 1.82% royalty payout. Yeah. Obviously, they organize, they think it's too low. If the Oil and Gas Commission on Monday decides to go ahead with the application to approve it, that's what it's going to be. And the big takeaway here for folks at home is that the companies cannot move forward with commercially and profitably extracting this lithium until a royalty rate is set for each of their projects.
There is a danger that if the royalty rate can't be something that's agreed upon, at least it's something that the companies that want to do the investing and the extraction of the minerals, if it's not going to be lucrative enough for them, they won't do it. And there won't be a lithium rush in Arkansas.
Yes, I mean, that is the concern. We've reported on this at the Arkansas Times, which is that a lot of officials in these companies have been saying, we don't know if we can afford a higher royalty rate. Now, of course, you also have to remember the companies have a vested interest in having the highest profit possible, right? Just like the landowners, the mineral rights owners have a vested interest in trying to get the highest royalty. Right. It truly is kind of a battle over, in a way, I don't want to call them all greedy. I don't want to say that at all, but it is a battle over who's going to get the most benefits, right? And so, but the companies are cautioning. I've got a couple contacts over at Standard Lithium. They're saying East Texas looks pretty good, but you also have to remember they've received a capital investment from the federal government to build here in Arkansas. So there's a lot of dynamics at play here is the point, Roby. It is complicated, but we'll be on the ground in El Dorado on Monday. Yep. We're going to report this out, give people the information of what happens, and we'll see.
We'll see if there's a decision on Monday. All right, Phillip Powell, thank you so much for being here.
So much.
Enjoyed it, and we'll catch up on a follow-up to this story.
Absolutely.
Right. We're back with more right after this.